corporate governance in various financial institutions. As the sir has already introduced us about the corporate governance, we all know that it is the way in the way the company is and the various financial institutions are managed and are working. These are the essential principles of the governance to be present in various financial institutions. The various stakeholders affected by the corporate governance. The objective of the study was to understand the concept of the corporate governance and to determine the reasons enforcing corporate governance in various financial institutions in India. This is the review of literature. The research methodology adopted was based on secondary data.
So it is all exploratory?
Yes, it is all exploratory. The findings according to various journals and magazines and e-books we read for this paper, we came to the findings that there is the steady growth in the corporate governance in India and various financial institutions. Though we can see the growth, but it is on a very steady pace. The more research and papers need to be done so that the conceptual and various reasons can be explored for this and the measures can be taken up accordingly. This is the conclusion. We can say that good governance can make a significant contribution and prevention of malpractices and fraud in the financial institution, although it cannot prevent them absolutely. Transparency, accountability and participation rule of the law, various measures need to be taken up, but still there's time. We can actually go for it in the more depth. There's need to do more on this. Thank you.
About corporate governance, since past 2 days, we have discussed about the various policies of corporate governance like CSR, financial disclosure, e-governance, etc. But what drew our attention towards this paper was the limitation of the applicability of these norms in the small medium enterprises. Neither do they have substantial earnings to contribute in the CSR, nor their stakeholders interested in knowing their financial positions. So the question is the corporate governance relevant for SMEs, and if yes, how can they implement its norm in their organization?
Well, in order to understand the applicability of the corporate governance norms in the SMEs, what we did was we inquired around 50 SMEs and we asked them about the profitability, we asked them about their employee participation, we asked them how well are they disclosing the financial statements and to whom, and plus we also concentrated on the Go Green concept, wherein we wanted to find out how well are they adopting the paperless policy in their transactions with their stakeholders. There are a few pie charts that we have. I will not concentrate much on them. I will quickly give you a brief idea about them. Basically, what we found out was that there is a big problem of agency theory happening in the SME sector, wherein there is no separation of ownership from the management, and as Mr. Speaker said, that actually hinders the implementation of the corporate governance in the SME sector. If we talk about the profitability of these firms, we can see that though these firms are in their nascent stage, but still they are earning quite well and they are able to make profits quite well. When we talk about their financial disclosures, we see that most of them are getting their accounts audited either by the CA firms or by internal auditors. But when we talk about the disclosure of these statements with their stakeholders, the only thing is that either they share it with their partners or they share it with the government authorities, which is a mandate for them. And though they are saying that they do not revise their accounts, but in actuals they do. So which is against the corporate governance norms. Coming up to the online transactions, that was the biggest area where we can see a close link between the corporate governance norms and the SME sector. We see that they prefer the online transactions much more than the the traditional ways, including the sending of POs and vendor statements, etc., to their suppliers, or getting bills and all from their customers, etc. So in general, we would like to recommend that the companies, if not much, at least they can have a proper mission statement, a proper objectives set for their organization. They can have at least a proper succession plan wherein at least the managers know that okay, that will be their succession plan and we will be promoted in a particular manner, and hence they will be motivated to work towards the organization, and they should try to do as much as they can for their stakeholders, including the CSR technologies, etc. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Agarwal is going to present a paper on role of CSR in automobile industry. But this paper goes to two leading companies. Basically, automobile industry is the tar to the economy. It is the world's sixth largest producer, manufacturing company in India, in the world, in terms of volume and value. CSR is continuing commitment by business to perform ethically and contribute to the economic development by workforce, families as well as to local community. Automobile industry is the third largest market by volume. I have taken two leading companies which are Tata Motors and Mahindra and Mahindra. Tata Motors is a multinational automobile manufacturing company headquartered in Mumbai. The mainly CS activities which are by Tata Motors are pollution control, restoring ecological balance, employment generation, economic capital, human capital and natural capital. And there are many ways more activities which are performed, but I have taken some few only. Second is Mahindra and Mahindra. It is one of the largest leading company in the world. CSR activities which are performed by Mahindra and Mahindra are KC Mahindra Education Trust. It is the education trust which transforms the lives of people.
Mention these. Just mention the names who have done something.
Okay, sir. Mahindra Academy.
It's okay, go ahead.
Disaster relief, municipal gardens. The conclusion to these findings are that Tata Motors and Mahindra are very good in CSR activities. The main advantages are development and enhanced relations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is not about managing, reducing and avoiding risk. It is about creating opportunities, generating improved, sustainable and profitable performance for people and planet. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Sonali Kabra and the title of my paper is CSR in Indian banking sector. Now coming to the objectives of the paper, it's basically to study the concept of CSR in Indian banking sector, to compare and evaluate the areas of CSR initiatives in the selected public and private banks, and to study the recent reforms in CSR in banking sector. Methodology, since being it's a conceptual paper, so most of the data has been collected from secondary sources. Introduction to CSR, I will just say something that CSR is no longer defined by how much money a company contributes towards charity, but by its overall involvement in activities that improve the quality of people's lives. Coming to CSR in the banking sector, it's basically to provide financial services to the untapped areas. It is practiced in various fields like education, rural development, women empowerment, poverty eradication, microfinancing, etc. Coming to the present status, in recent years, various reforms have been introduced as per the Companies Act and also by the RBI. CSR practices by SBI, basically it has spent 1% of the profit in CSR activities for year 2014 and 15. It has also adopted Go Green initiative by reducing banks' own carbon footprint. Now this table shows the category-wise classification. CSR practices by HDFC, it has spent 1.2% of the net profit of the preceding 3 years for the financial year 2014 and 15. This table also shows the category-wise classification spent by HDFC. These are the different areas of spending by SBI and HDFC. You can see a difference of them. This table further shows the comparison. Now coming to the conclusion, I would like to say that in comparison between the HDFC and SBI, it has focused more on financial inclusion by way that HDFC Ergo, it used to provide 1 lakh accidental cover till January 2005 under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Also the total income and the size of banks play an important role in their contribution towards the CSR activities. Also, the banks, they generally concentrate more on social issues rather than environmental issues, since perhaps they do not harm the environment directly. Now, I would like to suggest something, that the banking sector being different from other service sectors, so the government need to focus more on its functioning and its role. Secondly, still new regulations and reforms policies need to be introduced by the RBI. Also, a proper monitoring committee is to be framed to keep a tight check over activities of banks, so that the scams which have been occurring and the NPAs in recent years, they are reduced. In order to conclude and summarize, I would like to say that CSR is not just a charity, but a practical implementation of ethical ideas towards the society. CSR, it should be in the DNA of every organization, be it in banking sector or any other sector, because if the society prospers, so shall the organization. Thank you.
Then Saloni Gupta, corporate governance in banking sector. Is she present?
Good afternoon everyone, I am Saloni Gupta and my topic is corporate governance in banking sector. The thrust for greater transparency towards stakeholders of a business has led to the emergence of the corporate governance, which was a response to corporate failure and widespread dissatisfaction with the way many corporate function. The founding principle of corporate governance lays emphasis primarily on complete transparency, integrity and accountability of the management. Banking system plays a very important role in the economic life of the nation. The health of the economy is closely related to the soundness of its banking. This paper focuses on corporate governance in banking sector. In specific banking, because as the banking sector is deserves special attention, the sector is mainly responsible for the allocation of financial resources to all other sectors of an economy. With elements of good corporate governance, sound investment policy, appropriate internal control systems, better credit risk management, banks will definitely be able to overcome the challenges. Sir, this is the conclusion. The banks will be able to overcome the challenges and convert them into opportunities. Thank you.
My topic is impact of disclosure in composition of stock market index on market volatility, a study with reference to S&P CNX Nifty. First, I will talk about the variables in this study. Disclosure of change in composition of index. It is the measure of good governance being followed by the stock exchanges in India. Market index, which has been taken into consideration for the study, is S&P CNX Nifty, comprising of 50 stocks. Market volatility pattern, no measure has been used, but just to study the trend. Market volatility and stock volatility. Individual stock volatility behavior, beta has been used as a measure of systematic risk to calculate whether the announcement has any impact on the composition, on the volatility of the stocks which are moving out and which are included in the stock in the index. As we know that Indian stock market is one of the fastest emerging markets in global economy, and it is an attractive investment options for investors.
No, that is okay.
Stock, yes.
Yes, please hold on. You concentrate on the impact of disclosure.
That's all right. I'm coming to it. So, just to give an idea that the index, there is an index maintenance committee for maintenance of index, which has been, this slide explains that committee. And I'll come to the research methodology part. The objective of the study is to, it is an event study. It assesses the change in volatility pattern of the stocks which are excluded from and included in the index. Data collection has been made from Provis database of CMIE. It includes the daily adjusted closing prices which have been taken for S&P CNX Nifty and the sample stocks listed on NSE. And then the prices are converted into daily log normal returns using this formula. And the time period for the study is year 2015. There were 3 announcements made by NSE regarding S&P CNX Nifty. First was on 20th February, second 29th April, and then 12th of August. This is the list of stocks which were excluded from the index and the new stocks which replaced them. Tools for data analysis. To prepare the data for analysis, descriptive statistics and graphs have been considered. To investigate the change in volatility of sample stocks, dummy variable regression analysis has been used. This is the empirical model for dummy variable regression analysis, where there are 2 dummies which have been used. This is I-pre is the prior to the announcement. It relates to that period, and I-post is the dummy variable which has been created for the returns which are generating out after the announcement period. This is the descriptive statistics of the companies or the stocks which have been taken into consideration. The data is not normally distributed, it is skewed, excessive kurtosis is represented in the data, and there is non-normality of returns. These 3 graphs represents the fluctuations in the returns based upon the 3 events which have been considered in the study. And this is the table for dummy beta values, that is the measure of systematic risk which has been calculated for these stocks. The values for individual stocks are calculated. Then these values are compared with the help of wall test, which says that the coefficient diagnosis, this proves that the beta values are significantly different from 0, but there is no significant difference in the responsiveness of stock returns within a range of 30 days prior and 30 days post the announcement period. Final remarks of the study are that stock betas are significantly different from 0, and there is no significant difference between the stock beta due to announcement of exclusion effect. Keeping the other factors constant has an insignificant impact on the beta values of these stocks which are being excluded or included in the stock. Thank you.
Things in it, what questions can be asked? Is our market efficient?
No, it is, I mean, a lot of studies have been done on the market efficiency.
I am simply asking a question, is our market efficient? If you say no,
it's not
fine.
efficient.
Okay. Second question is, if you look at the recent volatility, say last 4, 5, 6 days, what are the announcements which have made this market so volatile?
So
what
basically,
has changed fundamentally?
So budget announcement is one.
There is nothing in the budget relating to the stock market.
No, it is not related to the stock market directly, but it is, market works on information, sir. That's why.
What kind of information?
So
because
information which
you have to factor in
all right.
the kind of information. Anyway, please.
Provision for such things in our
Okay,
budget, even
thank you.
then market
All right.
Good afternoon to one and all. Today I am going to present the paper regarding the creating social value for business sustainability. Today I am here on behalf of our faculty, and I am the co-author. I am A. Shabarish Raju. And this is the outline of my presentation. I am coming to the introduction. As we know that CSR is a process by which business negotiate their role in the society.
Better you come to the conclusion. So many people have discussed this meaning, concept, and significance of the CSR. And I think we are overloaded with the concepts.
So the conclusion is that as Section 135 Companies Act stipulates that every company having a net worth of 500 crores or more, or a turnover of rupees 1000 crores or more, should have a committee of the board consisting 3 or more directors who take care of the CSR activities. And the CSR projects require some elements of accountability and audit of the process.
That's all. Thank you.
And I am here to present my paper on the topic Impact of Celebrity and Non-Celebrity Endorsement in CSR Advertisement on Sales. CSR means to provide returns to society because the enterprise derives several benefits from society. Celebrity endorsement means to use a well-known person in advertising campaign in order to promote a product or service. There are many companies who are using the celebrities and non-celebrity endorsement in CSR advertising, like Idea, Save Paper campaign endorsed by Abhishek Bachchan, Tata Tea, Jagore campaign endorsed, it's a non-celebrity endorsement. Levy, cancer awareness uses Kareena Kapoor. PNG, Chote Kadam campaign done by Vidya Balan. ITC e-Chopal campaign uses non-celebrity endorsement. Now I would like to show you some videos on the companies who are using CSR advertising.
दुनिया नहीं बचेगी अगर पेड़ नहीं बचेंगे और पेड़ नहीं बचेंगे तब तक पेपर नहीं बचेगा। अब पेपर कैसे बचाएं?
कल तेरी बारी है। हेलो
आइडिया
एक मसाला डोसा। मसाला डोसा। एक चिकन पा।
Your body count,
तमाम गवाहों और सबूतों को मद्देनजर रखते हुए जी भारतीय पेपर
Celebrity endorsement
आप कौन से पेड़ हो?
by Idea.
प्री पेड़ हो के पोस्ट पेड़।
Now I would like to show you the non-celebrity endorsement used by Tata Tea.
चलो भाई मिलता हूँ।
हो गया घूमना?
घूमना? अरे हम तो जाग के आ रहे हैं रिजान, वोट डालकर।
लगता थोड़ा जगना बाकी है। मैं चलाती हूँ।
बाकी मतलब इतनी बड़ी ड्यूटी पूरी करके आ रहे हैं।
बड़ी ड्यूटी? चलो बड़ी बत्ती वाली चाय बनाती
हूँ। बड़ी बत्ती? और ये
छोटी बत्ती। वो छोटी ड्यूटी पूरी करने पर।
कौन सी छोटी ड्यूटी?
एक बाइक पर 3 लोग। ट्रैफिक रूल्स, छोटी ड्यूटी कब निभाओगे मिस्टर?
समझ गया मैडम, टाटा टी प्रीमियम, बड़ी बत्ती की खुशबू के साथ छोटी बत्ती का दाम।
छोटी बड़ी मिलकर ही पूरी होती है, वो टी हो या ड्यूटी।
My study was based on the secondary data which was collected from internet, websites, reports, etc. I have reviewed 5 articles. It was concluded that CSR is important for every organization to remain in the society and also to earn the profits. There is no impact of celebrity and non-celebrity endorsement in CSR advertisement on sales. If a company is doing CSR practices, whether it's a celebrity or non-celebrity endorsement, the sales always increases. Thank you everyone for listening me so patiently.
Initiative of Small and Medium Enterprises of Jaipur with reference to the efforts that are made by MCA. I've taken 2 objectives. Firstly, to understand the concept of Go Green initiative taken by MCA, and secondly, to analyze the understanding about Go Green initiative of SMEs of Jaipur. This is the research methodology. I've used both primary and secondary data, questionnaire, convenient sampling, and 30 SMEs of Jaipur. I've used percentage method, e-sending of statutory documents of companies, e-conferencing between the board of directors, e-certificate of the registration of the companies. Then this is the findings. I've just converted them into tabular form for the better understanding. So if we talk about awareness about Go Green initiative amongst the SMEs of Jaipur, only 60% of people are aware about this initiative. And out of that 60%, only 20% of people are implementing it. Now out of those 20%, if I talk about, 14.5% people says that they have good experience using it. Then 75% people said that 20% of the total cost can be saved. And if we talk about the benefits, they said that out of the major benefits they have realized if they use this initiative, that has reduced time to share the information. That means communication can be done promptly. And that has also increased the frequency of the shareholders' communication, also reduced costs, and the most important, it's saving environment as well. The challenges that they're facing, lack of shareholder email ID, they're facing that the shareholders are not ready to actually give them the email addresses. Then lack of internet penetration in rural India, because people do not have electricity if we talk about the rural India part. So internet is not there. Then lack of infrastructure, IT infrastructure is not that great. Then lack of awareness is there amongst the people, amongst the companies, and also then conservative approach towards email addresses. Investors prefer for hard copy rather than sending them emails. Then these are the two suggestions. That there should be increase in number of investors education programs, since investors are not educated about what things can happen, how initiative can bring a difference in their life. And then MCA should also take initiatives to make SMEs as a part of total campaign, because I feel that larger corporates are well aware of this fact. So because they constitute a good part of it. SMEs constitute a good part of it, so they should also be made aware of it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. I just want to ask you one question. What is this? We all know that it's the national emblem of our country. And how many lines you can see in this picture? 4. But there are 4 lines. I am asking you that how many lines are you able to see right now in this picture? See, okay. See, I just want to just tell you what's the meaning of these lines if we take it to the management perspective. Okay, next slide. Okay, the one is this force of state. The force of market and the state is, one side is sitting Adam Smith and one side is sitting Karl Marx. So many decades, the intellectual of the world is only seeing the 2 lines, that is market and the state. And the vertical line has been ignored in last so many decades. That's why we need today corporate governance. That's why we need today corporate social responsibility. Now, I just want to skip that corporate governance because we all know what this corporate governance is all about. Now, why CJ was long ignored? That's nobody has just taken this point in their presentation. That's why I'm just taking widespread preponderance of the small firms. Large companies are either family, state, or foreign-owned. Their shares were not widely traded locally. That's the reason behind that the CJ was long ignored. Now the paradigm shift. Closed economy to open economy. We have all know that 1991 policy, that liberalization, globalization and privatization. Second is undemocratic to democratic. We all know the leadership style has been changed in the last so many decades. Relationship based to rules based. I just want to give my example only, that my maternal uncle will not allow me to do any kind of job if I don't have skill and I don't have knowledge for that job particular. Now everything is rules based in our country. Now, ethical issues in corporate governance. First is insider trading, that's leaking out some information of your country to the outsiders or the insiders. The tax evasion is using illegal means to avoid paying tax. We have already discussed that. The other ethical issues in corporate governance, like dividend policy, the way in which individuals are nominated for positions on the board. I just want to skip that also. Last day, Andy Mathur sir had discussed that the problem of corporate governance is that the decision-making power with the person is not, they are not deserving. They are just not, they don't have an expertise on that. That's why I added this picture to my presentation. We're copying down the methods of the different countries, different methods of different companies. We are not doing something innovative and creative in our day-to-day life. That's the problem. Now what's the trend? First is women on corporate boards. Women are everywhere today, as you all know. Social media governance. Social media is playing a very important role today in governance. Protection of whistleblowers, we have already discussed that. And shareholder social activism. Now we just want to discuss CSR. I just want to ask you one question. What is the meaning of CEO? Can anyone tell me? do not tell me the chief executive officer. Okay, I just want to give you a hint that what's the meaning of CEO in the 20th century? Competition, efficiency and objective. Can anybody tell me the meaning of CEO in 21st century? Just use your creativity to enlighten my thoughts, to make my thoughts organic. I have said 3 words. Creative, enlightened and organic. Okay, we need to be creative, we need to think above the competition, we need to think above the out of the box, we need to enlighten our workers, we need to be organic so we can go for the corporate social responsibility. I'm not going to discuss because it's going to take a lot of time what is sustainability and what is CSR. But I just want to say that if they more and more overlaps each other, the more the sustainable the organization is. Now, special focus area that's already discussed. Now, at the last, I just want to say this is the starting stage of CSR activities because FutureScape, along with the support of IIM Udaipur, conducted a study on the top Indian companies of CSR, and the result are least investment was made in armed force veterans, war widows areas, and out of 147 companies studied, only 18% of the companies are spending more than 2%. So, at the last, I just want to conclude that today we don't need a smart management, we need a wise management, because wise stands for well-being, inclusive, sustainable and ethical. Thank you.
We all know what is ITC, a broad management company. I will not introduce with the company's structure and all. I'll just focus the role of ITC in community development basically. The areas which are covered by ITC, the initiatives which it took in the field of community development. First, I would like to include the point of social forestry, which it ensures food, fodder and food security and employment for rural households. Then biodiversity, ITC scaled up biodiversity conservation in 79 plots to protect flora and fauna and to preserve the nation's rich biodiversity, ensuring a sustainable future. For sustainable agriculture, ITC has started Chaupal Pradarshan Khed, that is promoted field demonstrations of seed varieties and productions. Then for empowering the women, ITC had provided range of gainful employment opportunities and support with financial assistance through their loans. In the field of education, the mission called Mission Sunera Kal offers skilling in trades including hospitality, tailoring, beautician, automotive course, etc. In health and care initiative, Swasthya Chaupal is the ICT's e-Chaupal initiative, which is a rural health initiative basically. WOW, which is a well-being out of waste program, which basically work for recycling the products. And the main project is e-Chaupal, ICT's e-Chaupal project is there. I will not go in detail with the e-Chaupals. I would only like to conclude that how e-Chaupal, basically a virtual market which changed the life of Indian farmers. So I would like to conclude only with a line which a farmer stated regarding the e-Chaupal. He is also an e-Chaupal Sancharak in the village in MP. He said, "Come to my village, I will show that how ITC has changed our lives." Thank you.
Various issues that have been covered under sustainable development. The first issue is economic sustainability. As we all know that in economic, we all cover about the export and imports that have been made by the government of India, as government have taken more emphasis on the export as compared to supply domestic demands. That is why new foreign markets are there in India, which left no markets for farmers. Then the social issues that have been covered under the social sustainability is poverty is the main issue. The government should take various initiatives to.
That's fine. Okay. Now,
in community development. I'll directly jump to the conclusion. CSR is all about the business, government and civil society. From the social point of view, CSR should benefit community because the very complex structure, as it consists of individuals with various level of control of resources physically and intangibly. Roles of CSR in community development refers to the way of responsible behavior and perceived by community and stakeholders.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to straight to the conclusion.
That's great. आपका 1 मिनट तो ये सब खा जाएगा आपका युवा.
Clause 135 introduced by the Companies Act 2013 would go a long way in strengthening the social initiatives taken by the company. Apart from boosting transparency and accountability, it would also open up the avenue for corporate social responsibility consulting. However, steps are required to be taken to sort out the issues of penalties in the event of non-disclosure, scope of Schedule 7, internal controls, etc. If the law is followed in true letter and spirit, India Incorporation would succeed in discharging its social responsibility in an effective and efficient manner. Thank you so much.
Kirtharan has given an excellent definition that CSR is a balancing act between limited liabilities of company as well as unlimited liability of society. The objective of my study are to understand the concept and scope of CSR, to know how PNG has fulfilled its responsibility towards all the stockholders, to know what specific activities, programs and strategies it has set, devised and implemented.
We would like to conclude. Considering the long-run growth and sustainable development following the norms of corporate social responsibility and sustain a balance between corporate world and society, present generation and upcoming generation and man in their nature. As far the PNG is concerned, it has gone a long way in fulfilling its duty and responsibility towards the society and the nation. Thank you.
The need for corporate governance among microfinance and the CSR practices. But my paper, through my paper, I tried to establish that how corporate governance can be established for the SHGs, self-help groups, because self-help groups is a major delivery channel for the microfinance. If we take it, there are two major delivery channels. First is microfinance institutions, and second can be a federation, SHGs, that is self-help groups. So there has to be a proper system of mechanism to supervise, monitor, control and visit these SHGs, because these SHGs are very small units, the self-help groups, and to have a better monitoring mechanism from banking side, I've tried to establish that we need a second-tier institution who can work as a link or an anchor between the SHGs and the banking institutions, because this will help, serve as an extended arm for the banks, because they will be hand-holding the SHGs. They will also function as financial intermediaries. They will do problem solving. They can even promote more and more SHGs. No, sir. In Rajasthan, SHG Federation concept is still coming up. It is only through.
It is done elsewhere.
It is done elsewhere, but as far as the Rajasthan concept goes, it is only coming through the advent of NRLM. NRLM is the one who are coming out with the federations. Otherwise, the federations are not doing financial intermediaries, and the banking sector is not reaching out to the people.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My topic is role of CSR in community development. The roles are close link between corporations and community. Second, to share persuasive result as a result of industrialization. Third, help in getting expertise. Fourth, help in protection of environment. Fifth, a CSR program can be seen as an aid to elevate poverty. Sixth is, it is for human rights sustainability. Seventh, role in transfer of technology. And eighth is help in data gathering. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody left out?
Good afternoon to one and all present over here. My name is Sonali Rana. I am from IIS University, and the topic of my paper is Community Development and Corporate Social Responsibility. Corporate social responsibility is a highly misunderstood and misinterpreted term in India. Many of the Indian companies think that only by complying the rules and regulations of law, they fulfill the need of social corporate responsibility, but a responsible corporate recognizes its activities have vital impact on the society in which it operates. Therefore, it takes account of economic, social, environmental and human right of impact of its activities on all the stakeholders. Thank you.
Yes, you will have your number.
And the topic for today is corporate governance and NGO partnership for CSR activities.
As a lot has been spoken about the same in the last session, we have focused on NGO and corporate partnership for CSR activities, and our objectives were corporate governance and its core principles, CSR and its core principles, convergence of CSR and corporate governance, NGO and corporate partnership with respect to CSR and corporate governance.
Hello everyone, I am Swapnil Goyal, and the conclusions for our topic are that ASCOHM, that is Association of Chamber Commerce and Industry, has find out that 30,81,873 NGOs which are present in India right now, out of which 67% of these industries use NGO for their corporate social responsibilities. 58% of them use government institutes to do their corporate social responsibility, and 200 NGOs out of the 200 NGOs have been sanctioned by the government to practice CSR activities, and few NGOs which are practicing CSR with a great scope in Jaipur are India and Muktidhara. Recently, Muktidhara got 3,000 crore fund from Audi company, which is working in Alwar with solar panels, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Yamini Surulia. My topic is
I hope she is the last presenter. There's one more. I appreciate your patience. Yes, please get it. And you should appreciate mine also.
My objective of the study is to study the concept of corporate governance and determine the corporate governance practice in ICICI Bank.
सर एक काम करते हैं, जितने भी कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस पे बैंकिंग वाले पेपर्स उनको सबको एक जगह बिठा देते हैं, कहते हैं एक कंक्लूजन निकाल लो और एक आदमी जाके प्रेजेंट।
मैं सबको बुला के यही कह रहा हूँ कि मैं 7 दिन बाद तुमसे मिलूंगा।
चलो प्लीज
On the basis of study, it can be concluded that good corporate governance ensures corporate success and economic growth, and it also helps in minimizing the risk, wastage, corruption, and mismanagement in the organization.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Of the IIS University. I won't take much time of yours. I'll start with my research topic. My research topic was on the significant difference between the company and customers' perception on the benefits derived through CSR activities. My research study was based on that according to consumers, the benefits received by a company by conducting the CSR activities, and what the company actually earns benefits by conducting the CSR activities. And between these two, is there a significant difference? Then for this, I took ITC company. These are the various CSR activities conducted by the ITC company. My analysis was based on the various benefits the ITC company provides to the society, and what is the society's perception towards the CSR benefits. And through this, my conclusion was that yes, there is a significant difference between the company and customers' perception on the benefits derived through CSR activities. According to customer perception, they are aware of the benefits received by the corporates, but if we compare it with the actual benefits, there are much more.
Governance. I will not speak anything on the corporate governance. I will simply say thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the IIS University, I extend my gratitude to our distinguished chairperson and speaker for sparing their valuable time and making this session an enriching one.
Gave an auspicious start to the conference. Dr. Ashok Gupta, the Vice Chancellor, the IIS India, has finally realized the significance of good corporate governance and introduced the Companies Act 2013, which lays emphasis on the pillars of good governance. The conference further proceeded with the technical session first, with the sub-theme Corporate Governance Practices in India, and CA Rajiv Sogani, Senior Partner, R. Sogani and Associates. During this session, papers pertaining to corporate governance, initiative in Indian hotel industry, corporate governance disclosure practices in India, and role of chief executive officers in corporate governance were deliberated upon. The post-lunch session was on corporate governance regulatory framework. The session was chaired by Professor Balkrishnan, Department of Commerce, Himachal University, Shimla. The invited speakers for the session were Professor N.D. Mathur, Mr. Anshul Jain, Director, Golden Divine and Chairman, CS Association, Jaipur Chapters. During this session, papers on Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013, integration of ITC and e-governance in Rajasthan, women on board in India and many more were presented. Day 2 of the conference witnessed deliberations on the sub-theme CSR and corporate governance. The session was chaired by Professor R.K. Chandak, former Dean, Faculty of Commerce, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. We also had the privilege of listening to Mr. R. Giridharan, General Manager, RBI, Banking Ombudsman, Rajasthan. Professor Prabhat Pankaj, Jaipur Institute of Management, Jaipur. Presentation on the related topics were made with some valuable inputs from the chairperson. The session was followed by the 4th technical session chaired by Professor Somdev, Professor, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. Invited speaker was Mr. Rajat Puja, Proprietor, Eagle Capital Stock Broking and Investment Advisory Firm, Jaipur. Papers were presented on corporate governance, behavioral insight on banking sector, FSMS certification system as a tool of corporate governance in hotel industry, accounting frauds and corporate governance, and many more were deliberated upon. On the whole, the entire 2 day was a learning experience for the students and faculty as well. Thank you.
Yet, I'm really thankful for inviting me here and allowing me to present my paper, which was slightly off the lead for what I have heard for the entire day today. I'm thankful for the arrangements and also for the enlightenment that we had for various topics that we could understand today as well, because not all of us come from the same backgrounds. Yet, I do understand that we could have had more information from the second session today, and just because we are all hungry for knowledge and information, so we were just waiting to hear more and more and more. Though I really feel that the college has done a wonderful work, and thanks a lot again, and I think there's a huge potential in this college for whatever part of abstracts we could hear, understand and see. So thank you so much, Dean sir, and thanks a lot for it.
पिछले 2 दिन से मैं इंतजार कर रहा था कि मैं आपको कब भाषण दूं। Since last 2 days, it means I have much more patience than you people. Even then, I salute your patience. Really, in last 2 days, at least for 12 hours, you have listened variety type of persons, whether it was as per your interest or not, I don't know. Even then, patiently you hear. Salute again. Your patience. Second, very good. Salute for your discipline. Salute for your eagerness, want to learn something. And finally, salute for your level of confidence. Really, we feel proud before the outsiders then when they say this thing, that this is the audience where they can learn, they can interact. Confidently they can interact. Somebody says any question or you raise your hands in numbers 10, 20, 50. I feel wow, क्या बच्चे हैं। और सही बात है, जिस चीज को आप समझते नहीं हैं उसको आप मूर्त रूप देते हैं। The particular thing which you do not understand, even then in practical you are implementing such type policies. साधु ऐसा चाहिए जैसा सूप स्वभाव, सार सार को कही लए थोड़ा दे उड़ाए. साधु means सज्जन, gentleman, gentle lady. कैसा चाहिए? सूप, छाछला समझते हो? घरों में अब आपके घरों में होगी नहीं हो, जिससे ऐसे फटकारने से गंदगी बाहर हो जाती है, खास खास चीज अंदर रह जाती है। सार को गही लए अंदर रख लेते तो होता है। इतने लोग बोलते हैं, इतने लोगों को सुनते हैं। If something is coming for your use, if it is useful, take it, inhale it. If suppose you think it is not, it is work बेकार है, क्या लेना? Okay, let it go. सैकड़ों चीजें आती हैं, चली जाती हैं। But I took this in mind that you want to say something more, but time constraint is there, you can't do anything. I just advised and asked to the senior persons that they will organize seminars in a limited number so everybody can interact. It's very difficult to start 120 to 190 and 200 persons are sitting there, somebody is speaking, or when you are putting your papers, but at the time of presentation, only 1 minute. 1 minute तो कभी-कभी ऐसे करने में निकल जाता है. Even then, we will give you chance. This is an opportunity when the outer experts coming over here and they want to talk something. But this is really very good. My students, my kids, my children, they are eager to learn. They can sit here without doing this. Nobody was doing this one. मैं 3-4 बार देखा मैंने. It's very good thing. This patience will certainly pay you in your future life. That's why I'm here. I congratulate my entire team. Restless, they were doing the job without the help of so many others. We did not include in our list several others. The entire university is going to work now. No, only our faculty wala. Even then I told them the classes should run continuously. For 190 students, we will not disturb our classes because we have about 2,500 students. Everything well, begin is half done and farewell to these 4 days. Now it's very good. We have done very good job, and in last I put my aabhar to you all. You have done a very good job, and sadhuvat to my team. They have done a very good job, and be prepared for the forthcoming work, for your examination or for your so many other things, moderation and other CBCS. Yeah? Carry on. Thank you. Thank you.
Professor M.K. Sharma, Dean Faculty of Commerce and Management, Dr. Meenakshi Sharma, Convener of the conference, Dr. Deepika Singh, Dr. Shweta Kastia, Organizing Secretaries of the conference, Dr. Ruchi Jain, Dr. Chavi Jain, Co-Organizing Secretaries of the conference, all the esteemed guests, delegates and participants in the audience. I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose a formal vote of thanks at the valedictory ceremony of this 2-day national conference on corporate governance, new paradigms, jointly organized by Department of Management Studies and Financial Studies, Faculty of Commerce and Management, the IIS University. I, on the behalf of organizing committee of this conference and my own behalf, convey deep regards and hearty thanks to Mr. Mohit Barolkar, Vice President GenPAC, for gracing the inaugural ceremony and sharing his thoughts. My special thanks and heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ashok Gupta, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the IIS University, and Dr. Rakhi Gupta, Registrar, for the support and guidance extended by them, which went a long way towards giving shape to this conference. I am thankful to Professor M.K. Sharma, Dean Faculty of Commerce and Management, and Professor Subhash Garg, Dean and Director, GRIT, for their continuous support and advice, which has greatly helped towards the successful organization of this conference. We have been fortunate to have some of the eminent speakers from academia and industry. I wish to express my sincere thanks to them for sparing time out of their busy schedule and enlightening us on important issues such as CSR, role of board of directors and audit committees in corporate governance, executive compensation, etc. I am thankful to the sponsors of this conference, Just by Tata Motors and the Chopras, for their generous financial support in organizing this event. Now the most important, my special and hearty thanks to Dr. Meenakshi Sharma, convener of the conference, for all the dedication and untiring efforts in making this conference a success. With deep sense of gratitude, I express my thanks to the participants who have come to participate in the conference. No program of this magnitude is possible without a well-coordinated team. The smooth conduct of this event would have not been possible without the team spirit of all the faculty members of the university, student volunteers especially, research scholars, the technical and support staff. I thank you all who have worked long hours towards making this program a success. Lastly, I thank all the media persons whose ample coverage of the conference will bring this contemporary issue close to public interest and notice. Thank you all once again.